get started with the new Microsoft Foundry experience in the Foundry portal, you'll first be brought to this webpage when you navigate to ai.azure.com. On this page, you'll need to select Sign In to get started. I'm already signed in, so I'll take you to what it looks like once you've been signed in. Once you're signed in, you'll be brought to the Microsoft Foundry Classic portal. What we want to do is use the new portal. So to get to the new portal, at the top right, there's going to be a toggle next to New Foundry. You're going to select that toggle, and that'll bring you to the new Microsoft Foundry experience. First, you'll need to select a project to continue. If you have an existing project, that's great, but if not, no problem, because you can also create one. To do so, you'll select the drop-down and click Create a New Project. Next, you'll need to provide a name for your project. I'm going to call mine Gittens Demo. And then the next thing you'll do is see if you need to change any of the advanced options. So just to go through what we have on here, the first thing is the project name itself. That's going to auto-populate from what you provide for the project name up top. Then just below the project name, we have the subscription. If you happen to have multiple subscriptions, you can select the appropriate one from the drop-down. Just below that, we're also going to create a new resource group by default. However, if you do have an existing resource group that you want to use, you'll select the drop down and select that resource group from the list. On the right-hand side at the top, we have the Microsoft Foundry resource itself. It's specifically a Microsoft Foundry resource. You can change this name if you'd like. However, it does automatically name it based on the project name, and then it appends resource at the end. And then finally at the bottom, we have the region itself. The default is going to be East US 2. However, you can select a different region if necessary. And then from here, you'll select Create. The creation process itself may take a couple of minutes. Once it is done with setting up your project, what it will do is open up your project in the brand new Microsoft Foundry experience. Now that the project has been created, I'm taken to the welcome screen. The first thing I'll do is say welcome, followed by your username. And then just below, we have the project endpoint for your project, as well as the project API key and your project region. It's important that you know where to find this information as you transition to doing things with code. As I scroll down, we have information on what's new in terms of models that are available. In this case, we have some Claude models that are available. And then we also have links to a quick start as well. And within here, you have the option to select your language, either Python or C#, and then we'll give you the code sample for that as well. If at any point you want to transition back to the classic view, what you'll need to do is select the toggle at the top right that says New Foundry. When you select that toggle, it'll take you back to the classic view instead. However, let's explore what's here in the new Microsoft Foundry portal. Within the Discover section, this is where you can get an idea of what's possible. So we have a list of featured models that are available. And then in addition to that, we have more information with respect to what's on our model leaderboard. We have some featured tools as well that you can utilize. These Foundry tools are going to be very helpful as you're building your agents. And then there's also some solution templates that you can utilize. These templates are going to be very helpful for getting you started, so that way you don't have to start from scratch, but we actually provide templates with code and the infrastructure that's necessary in order for you to create an agent or build on top of something that we've created in a template. And then at the very bottom, we have some models that are available as well from Microsoft. Selecting the Models tab will take you to the model catalog itself, and within the model catalog is where you can find models, view their model cards, and you can also deploy models here. Just below that, inside tools, we have our Foundry tools that are available. There are just over 1,400 that can be utilized within your agents that you are creating, so I do recommend exploring what's available here. And then those templates that I mentioned earlier are within the solution templates. And so right now we have 14 solution templates available. I am sure this list will continue to grow, so do come back and check in to see what's available now. Just to give you an idea of what these look like, for Build Your Conversational Agent, for example, what we provide here is a description of what the template entails, and then some key features that are available, and then also a link to the GitHub repo as well, so that way you can go right to the code and you can start building. Moving over to the build section, Once you have a model deployed, you can come and start building things with that model. One of the key things you can build is an agent. And so within here, within agents, assuming you have a model deployed, you can actually come and create an agent itself and chat with that agent. You can also create any workflows as well within the Workflows tab. You can also explore all the models that you have deployed within your project within the Models tab. If you're fine-tuning any models, you can find this information here within the Fine-Tuning tab. Any tools that are going to be connected, you can find those within the Tools section. Any knowledge that you want to provide your agent with, they're going to be available in the Knowledge tab, and it'll take you here to the Foundry IQ. And if you have any data sets at all, then you can find those here within the Data tab. And if you're doing any evaluations for your agent, they will display within the Evaluations tab. We also happen to have an evaluator catalog available, and then red teaming features that are available here as well. And then finally, we have our guardrails. And so these are going to be our content filters that you can add to your agents. There's also block lists as well in the event that you want to create a list of terms or phrases that your agent should block should anyone communicate with your agent and try to use those words or phrases. The final section is the Operate area. So starting here in the Overview page, this is where I can get a high-level overview of everything with relation to my subscription in this case, since I have subscription selected. I can also filter down by project as well, but right now I'm looking at all projects, and you can also choose your date range as well. But across all the projects in my specific subscription, I do see that we have 58 agents that are actively running. I can look at any estimated cost if provided versus the previous week. And then I can also see success rate, token usage as well. I can also view agent run volume over time. And below that, I can also look at any success rate trends. If I want to dive in deeper, I can go look at my assets. And within my assets is where I can come and see all the projects that I have within this particular subscription. And I do have some metrics on the far right related to that. I can also look at all the models that are also deployed across the subscription as well, and I can get an idea where things are with respect to the tokens per minute. I can also see retirement dates here, for example, the versions that are being used, the capacity, and that also extends to the tools that are being used across the subscription as well. Within the Compliance tab, if there are any policies, those would display here. You can always create one. In the guardrail section, I can look at the guardrails that have been placed on all the different models that have been deployed across the models in our subscription. And I can also get an idea of the security posture as well, and if there were any security recommendations, those would display. In the quota section, I can get an idea of any tokens per minute for all the models that have been deployed within my subscription. And that also includes provision throughput unit as well. And then finally, the last place I'll take you to is the admin side of things. So if I want to take a look at all of the projects that we currently have in our subscription, I can view that here within all projects. And then also within the AI Gateway tab, this is where we can come and govern the models, the tools, and the agents, and so you can add an AI gateway if necessary. From here, to navigate back to the home page, you'll select Microsoft Foundry in the top left, and that'll bring you back to the home page. A couple more things I just want to point out that may make your creation process a bit easier. If you select this chat icon with the 2 stars, that'll open up our Ask AI. You can provide prompts here and get a response as well. This will help you as you're using the portal. And you can also exit that as well. And then there's also this search icon here where you can also search with AI. And so either if you use Ask AI or you can just search with AI to search the Foundry portal itself. That concludes our tour of the Microsoft Foundry portal. You're now ready to start building.